Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to ask that you please rise for a few of your caps as we honor America with a play of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you turn your attention to center court for today's reading of our environment. First of all, from Carson-Newman. Number 12, Kyle Mason, and then followed by, from Queens College, Dima Blackhoff.
Welcome to today's game between Carson-Newman Eagles and Queens Royals. We see the basketball court is an extension of our classroom environment where we learn dignity and respect for others.
Today we ask for your enthusiastic support of your respective teams. We also ask that you support the student athletes from both our institutions by honoring our request to treat all fans, officials, coaches, and student athletes with respect. Thank you.
Hello, SAC fans. I'm Patrick Fritz, Commissioner of the South Atlantic Conference, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 SAC Basketball Championships. All of us associated with the SAC look forward to providing a wonderful championship atmosphere and a quality experience for the student athletes, coaches, and fans. We would like to thank Timmons Arena and Furman University for hosting the championship for the 9th year. As you just heard from the student athletes, sportsmanship is extremely important in the South Atlantic Conference. It is not only a core principle of the SAC, but it is a pillar of NCAA Division II as well. Sportsmanship unites all of us in a common goal, winning and losing with respect and dignity. With that being said, we ask that you reflect on what these student athletes just stated and respect our game. That means being loud and energetic when cheering for your team and not against your opponents, while also showing respect to the officials and each other as fans. Thank you again for joining us for the 2022 SAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, and enjoy the game.
Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the final game of our championship Sunday. It is Carson-Newman and Queens squaring off for the South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship for a second consecutive year. See how these teams got there. Carson-Newman a 12-point win over Lincoln Memorial last evening. Queens on the other side really completely dominated Newberry. That game never really close. An 87-57 victory yesterday. And it's a great day for hoops here at Furman. As you take a look at the starting five for Carson-Newman, as this team is starting to play some of its best basketball down the stretch. E.J. Bush scoring career point number 1,000 last night. Trip Davis had a big game for the Eagles again, and so far in this tournament, Davis is averaging 19 points per game. Dyer, Brennigan, and Thomas surround that group now for the Queens University Royals, and this team, boy, were they so good last night. Jamari Smith's the conference player of the year on the right-hand side there. Outside of him, look out for Kenny Dye, 11 points and 5 assists last evening, but he's the one that makes this show go for the Queens Royals. A.J. McKee, Jaden Turner, and Quan McClooney, who had 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting an evening ago, round out the starting five for this Queens club. And here's your star watch, and it goes to the guards. Look at Trip Davis, 14 points per game overall this season, but he has upped that in the conference tournament, 19 per night. He is shooting 44% from the field and getting to the line a lot, 21 of 23 at the line. Dye on the other end, he's averaging 14 overall per game. He's a great leader for this group, and we are just about ready to go here in the conference tournament championship matchup. Carson-Newman looking for its 5th tournament title and to become the last team, or the first team to repeat since Wingate in 2013. Ball is into the air, it's tapped backwards, and we are underway here in the title game. Working it around the perimeter, Queens will set up its offense. They were burying trifectas last evening. Dye with it. Top of the key, spins it over. Smith, he started the game yesterday with a 3. Misses this one. Offensive rebound underneath for Turner. He misses the putback. A third chance. They don't get it to go. They had a lot of offensive rebounds last night, 16 of them. But they don't come up empty on 3 tries on the first strip. Carson-Newman with its first possession of the day. Into the lane, and a running shot from Brennigan. Falls off. Turner the rebound. Queens will look to sprint into the front court. Dye to the corner. And around the perimeter, there's McClooney. Inside of the lane and then kicking it back out. And a recycle here of the offense for Queens. Smith sprints to the right block and hovers and puts it through. He shoots it at 51% from the floor this year, and he has the first points of the day for either side. 1 minute in to the title game. Davis works across the timeline for Carson-Newman, looking for Bush. It's deflected out of bounds right in front of us here on this scoreboard. Last touched by Queens. A good hustle along this sideline. You take a look at Smith's little runner in the lane. That is his bread and butter right along the right side of the lane. So Carson-Newman back of the basketball. Bush, this pressing defense of Queens out of this zone. Really frustrated Newberry last night. Bush leaning in, putting a shot up, doesn't drop it in. Thomas, the offensive rebound, and Bryant Thomas, who's the conference's leading rebounder, gets a second chance bucket. Now Queens with the basketball. Turner over the left-hand side. Dye extra pass, and McKee for 3. Way too strong. Queens last night was 13 of 35 from long range. Davis into the front court. Carson-Newman looks for its first lead of the day. Brennigan. Bush. Free throw line jump shot. Nearly banked it in. Instead, Dye will get a running start off of the rebound. Dye on the left point. 2 minutes in. Puts up a three-pointer and scorches the courts. He shoots it at both 50% from the field and the three-point line. He is as good of a shooter as there is. And he connects on that trifecta. Queens on top, 5-2 here at the beginning of this ball game. To the right side of the lane goes Davis. It's spiked out of play off of the sneakers of Smith. And it turns over to Carson-Newman now. After the shot block, you take a look at this move by Dye. Carson-Newman goes under the screen. That allows Dye to drill the jump shot. Carson-Newman down 3, 17:35 to go. Dyer dribbles left around a Thomas screen. Has it deflected. Bush on the block. Has it deflected out of his hands, and it's picked up by Dye. Sprinting the length of the floor. Looked like he traveled, and indeed he does. Carson-Newman women's basketball won the women's title, 83-58. And Carson-Newman looking to become just the 4th school in the history of the conference to win both the women's and the men's tournament in the same year. Lenore-Rhine, Wingate, and Catawba the others. Brennigan down the left side of the paint, hovers, tried to lob it. Instead it gets poked around. Bush eventually comes up with it. 13 on the shot clock. Davis bounces it to the baseline. Bush back out top. 7 to shoot now. Davis leans in, left-hand trigger, wide left. Carson-Newman starting the game 1 of 5 from the field. And a foul whistled here on Trip Davis as he picks up his first personal foul. Gavin Raines is off the bench, and he will be the first sub for either team in this contest. Well, you look over the last few years, Queens lost by 9 in the title game last year on its home floor. Lost by 7 the year before that to Lincoln Memorial. And the last time they were here was in 2018. They lost by 2 to LMU. Their last tournament championship came in 2017. And that is the only one in which they've hoisted in the history of the program. 5-2. Queens with the early edge. After a great performance last night by both teams, Queens on top. Smith falling away in the lane, misses it too strong. Eagles back with a basketball. Bowens dribbles, looks for some help, now throws a backdoor pass for Davis. Brennigan stepping back from the corner, clanks off the left side of the backboard. Outlet pass forward, and there's the free safety, Trip Davis, who's top 10 in the nation in steals, collecting another. He misses the three-pointer. Carson-Newman has started 1 of 8 from the floor in the game right now. Not a very good start offensively, really, for either side. Queens is just 2 of 7, and they've turned it over twice. A 1 of 8 start for the Eagles. Raines to the right block. He airmails a shot. Both teams struggling offensively here at the outset of this ball game after shooting the ball well last night. Eagles down 3 with the ball. 4 minutes in. Dyer dribbles right. Dye is on him in man-to-man defense. Such a good defensive guard as well. Very good stone wall there, and a missed jump shot. Smith there for the board. Carson-Newman 1 and done throughout. Queens leads by just 3. Carson-Newman hasn't scored in over 2.5 minutes. Queens hasn't scored in an even 2. Dye, top of the key against this matchup zone. Always a challenge for any team, particularly when you're playing them for the 3rd time, and there's an offensive foul. Dyer hits the deck. Smith called for the offensive foul, and the Conference Player of the Year picks up the first. Called against Queens. We've played nearly 5 minutes. Both teams trying to find their offensive flow. We'll find out if they can do that when we come back in the tournament championship game. Queens ahead by 3 here on the SAC Digital Network.
You've got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You've got to see this place.
You gotta 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 see this place.
You've gotta see this place.
You got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
Well, after both teams last night were really good offensively, it has been a tough start in this ball game for both clubs, and these are 2 really fine defensive units. Carson-Newman has started 1 of 9 from the field. Queens is 2 of 8, and it's the Royals ahead by 3, nearly 5 minutes into the game. Carson-Newman breaks the pressure. The only points have come off of a Thomas stick back for the Eagles. Dumped down underneath. Thomas intercepts it, or intended for Thomas. Smith intercepts it. Last year, Carson-Newman won 88-79 in the title game in this matchup. Carson-Newman was the number 3 seed a year ago. They're the 5 now. Dye catching top of the key, and he has been on fire early. He's buried a couple. It is an 8-2 Queens start to the title game. 14:40 to go. Well, what's interesting, this is exactly how the women's championship game started. Anderson scored 8 of the first 10, then Carson-Newman scored 17 of the next 21. Dyer cleans up the missed shot. Carson-Newman women's basketball winning by a tournament record 25 points over Anderson. Can't imagine the same thing is going to happen here with the flip of the script, but certainly for Carson-Newman, maybe something to keep in the back of the mind. McClooney, a three-pointer, wide right, poked over to Raines after 3 players went for it, and Queens recycles. McKee, a bounce pass along the paint. Smith dribbles it off of his sneakers, and a reach-in foul will be whistled here on Trip Davis, who has picked up his second personal foul with 14:01 to go. So Tripp, who is Carson-Newman's leading scorer in this tournament at 19 per night, picks up his second foul at the 14:01 mark with an 8-4 Queens lead. So we jot that down, star it. Nick Brennigan onto the floor to replace the all-conference selection, a second-teamer. Dye getting a sprinting start into the lane. Offensive foul as he's out of control. Kenny Dye picks up his first. Well, in the women's game, I think we had 3 fouls total in the entirety of the first half. But here in what seems like it's a pro Carson-Newman crowd, mainly because the women's team is still here. Carson-Newman trying to make a little comeback as they have started just 2 of 11 from the field. And their only points have come on offensive rebounds. Brennigan working along the baseline. He throws it away. Dye picks it up. 3-on-2 break. McKee sprints up and under with the left hand as he adjusts in midair. Queens had turned it over in 4 of its last 7 possessions prior to that one, and they go back on top by 6. 13-28 and rolling here in the first half. Left corner comes into Bush, and we get a whistle and an offensive foul called on Bush. It would have been a turnover. Instead, it's the foul. Well, you wonder for Queens, a team that has been one of the elite clubs in the country, and a team that has won now 14 games in a row, which is tied for the second longest winning streak in the nation. West Liberty and Augusta also with 14. Nova Southeastern, who's 28-0, has the longest active winning streak in the nation. Well, Carson-Newman knows this right now. They have to win this game because Belmont Abbey upset UNC Pembroke in the Conference Carolinas Championship, stole a bid. So the only way that the Eagles get into the postseason is by winning this game. They're down 6, almost 7 minutes into the game. Dye bounces baseline. Smith, Conference Player of the Year, goes to work, and it's the Defensive Player of the Year, Bryant Thomas, who comes away with a swat, 10th in the country in blocks, but he dribbles into the front court and turns it over. Dilling, kick to the corner. Matthews, back underneath for Turner, and a left-hand shot over Thomas. Rattles out, offensive rebound, loose on the deck, laying back on the ground is Matthews, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow, or check that, a timeout call by Carson-Newman here in this one. Carson-Newman 4-1 all time in the conference tournament title game. Of course, winning last year and in 2015. They're the only 5 seed to win the championship, that coming in 1994. The only 5 seed to hold up that trophy, along with Catawba, when Catawba won the very first one ever in 1991. So the Eagles looking to become the 3rd different 5 seed to win a championship. And in a year like this, Carson-Newman has had a lot of injury issues, a lot of health concerns. They are down by 6 and shooting just 2 of 11 from the field. And Queens, despite 4 of 13 shooting, getting second chance opportunities. As Dye has it, as they've connected on a couple threes. Smith underneath, throws it for Turner. Turner uses the rim to help shield Thomas and put in the layup. Largest lead early for Queens as they've gone on top by 8. So a 12-4 Queens lead, and since Trip Davis has come off of the floor, Carson-Newman has not scored. Eagles have failed in the last 2 minutes. They've turned it over 3 times in the last 2 and nearly turned it over here. This full court press for Queens. Brannigan in the backcourt. Throws it over to Dyer, and it goes out of bounds. 6th turnover already of the game for Carson-Newman. Queens has turned that into 7 points. There's your difference in the game here in the SAC Tournament Championship affair. Carson-Newman upending the number 1 seed Lincoln Memorial last night with a fine showing, winning at 78-66. Dilling pulls the trigger on a 3. Wide right, and then an interception. Thomas threw it right into the waiting hands of Turner, and Chuck Benson has seen enough. Calls for time, brings us. No, check that. It is immediate timeout. I thought for a second it wasn't going to be, but it is. And with 12:01 to go in the first half, it is all Queens early. They've scored 6 unanswered and lead 14-4. Can Carson-Newman find some rhythm? We find out next here on the SAC Digital Network.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
As soon as you win the state championship, you start getting calls and emails and brochures sent to you from all these ring companies. We'd already talked for a long time that the first one we got here at BA, it was going to be the biggest thing we could find. Right? It was going to be the biggest ring we could get. You know, we wanted to make this a celebration for the community, right? For our administration, for our school, right? And then to honor the kids. It's a big deal anytime you win a state championship in any sport.
Well, it's a dazzling start for Queens here in the South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship matchup as the Royals look to snap a 3-game skid in title games. And Trip Davis is back onto the floor playing with 2 personal fouls. Chuck Benson has to bring in his second-team all-conference pick. Bowens into the lane. We'll get a reach-in foul as Bowens was banging into bodies. Let's see who they call this one on. It goes on Hubbard, who picks up his first. Smith was down there as well, who has one. But a good take there by Bowens, and honestly probably was going to be a charge if not for the reach-in. 14-4, Royals on top. Thanks for tuning in for this one and throughout this weekend. Final game of 6 here in the SAC tournament. Butts underneath with the right hand is too strong. Deflecting towards the corner. Loose, comes right to Luke Brannigan. Shovels it back out Bowens. Brannigan open on the right wing. High post feed. Bowens goes to work, puts a shot up, doesn't drop it in. Eagles trying to recycle. It's deflected out of play off of Queens. Carson-Newman is getting a boatload of second chances. 6 offensive rebounds for Carson-Newman here right at the beginning. And without second chance points, Carson-Newman wouldn't have scored in this game. All 4 have come off of recycles. 14-4. Queens on top here looking for its second tournament championship, riding a 14-game winning streak. Dyer fires it to the left wing. Davis, and now we get a whistle, and I think an illegal screen set on Butts. His first. Queens has now been in 6 of the last 7 title games. Looking for their first tournament title since 2017. High post, turning around, missing the shot a little too strong that time around was McLaurin. Carson-Newman leaks out, and an interception. Good hands by Hubbard. He races front court. Hubbard to the right block. Falls away and misses it. Butts is there to grab the rebound. Slip shot start for both teams. 2 of 13 for Carson-Newman. 6 of 18 for Queens. Carson-Newman has not scored in 3.5 minutes. Eagles have started 2 of 13 from the field. Down by 10. Baseline touch here for Butts. Spins around, heaves one up with the right hand. It deflects around, and it's rebounded by McLaurin. So much depth that Queens has underneath. They have so much size and talent on the blocks. They can throw anybody out there at any given time, and right now it's McLaurin and Fowler out there. There's Fowler on the right block. McClooney pulls the trigger. Too strong. Rebound loose. Bodies hit the deck. A foul is whistled. I think that this one's on Fowler of Queens. And it is. Fowler called for the foul. It's the team's fourth. Bart Lundy kind of confused how that's a foul on them. Both players were going for the basketball as we get another look at it. Well, Carson-Newman could use as many breaks as they can get right now. They've turned it over 9 times in the game. And the Eagles just looking for anything right now against one of the top defensive units in the nation. 10-point lead. Carson-Newman has not scored in over 4 minutes. Where do the points come from right now for Carson-Newman? Bowens heaves up a free throw line shot, and that puts an end to that drought. So it was a 14-4 start to the game, and it comes to an end with that jumper from Bowens as he averages just 4 points per game. Hubbard around a screen, sprints to the paint, flicks one up, doesn't drop it in, but does draw a Carson-Newman foul. Tight calls early here with 9:43 to go in the first half. And free throws coming up here for Queens. Take another look at this move. Good take by Hubbard, and a couple different players got a piece of him. Foul goes on Bowens, his first. And Hubbard at the line, 81% on the year. And the left-hander rattles the first one out. Queens last night was 10 of 13 at the charity stripe. 13 of their 32 made field goals came from long range. They made 8 in the first half. Leaned heavily on that in a dominating 30-point blowout of Newberry. Second shot from Hubbard drops in. The lead extends to 9. It's been as many as 10 as Queens has led this game throughout. And just one tie. Carson-Newman has missed 12 of its 15 shots. Davis flicks it forward, and crossing the timeline is Brennigan. How does Carson-Newman find some offensive rhythm here? Davis on the right wing, dribbles to the baseline, works up, goes under. It almost felt like the whistle came even before the foul had been committed. But they call the foul on Smith. They called the foul on Smith. I can't imagine that that's right. Let's take another look at this. Has to be on McLaurin. Smith wasn't even in the picture, really. And they're going to want to take another look at this real quick just to make sure. It was absolutely McLaurin that made the contact. Smith walked over there for a half a second, but was nowhere close to committing that foul, and they are going to. They are calling it on Smith. I'm watching it right here, right now, and it is absolutely McLaurin that committed the foul. It's right here. There's McLaurin jumping into the air and committing the foul, unless they called it on a reach-in. And I don't even think Smith touched him there. That's interesting. Davis puts the first foul shot in. So it is Smith's second foul in an 8-point game with 9:27 to go in the first half. That is an interesting call. So Davis with 2 and now Smith with 2. So they're going to leave Smith on the floor with 2 personal fouls in an 8-point game here in the championship game. Quizzical call there on that one, but the officials looked at it again and they agree that that's the call. Bowens commits the foul. It's the 6th on Carson-Newman. So now Queens will be in the bonus on the next foul the rest of the way here in the first half. 15-8. Queens on top by 7. Their lead has been as many as 10. Sub coming in for Queens. Looks like Fowler will get Smith off of the floor with those 2 personal fouls. So we jot that down. Queens ahead 15-8 with 9:16 to go, and Smith takes a seat with his second personal foul. But as I mentioned, good depth here for Queens on the blocks. McClooney races past one defender and draws the foul as he hangs and misses. And E.J. Bush has picked up his second personal foul. Tough to get into a rhythm of this game right now with all the fouls. And McClooney will go to the free throw line. Has not scored so far today after he had 18 on an efficient 8 of 12 last night in the semifinal win over Newberry. Puts the first shot in. Queens is 2 of 3 from the floor, or from the free throw line rather, and makes it an 8-point game. Left-hander puts it on the way and drops it straight through. McClooney, the junior from Gastonia, North Carolina, College of Charleston transfer. Carson-Newman breaks the press, down 9. Can they put a dent into this deficit here with a couple buckets and some stops? Davis throws it underneath. Thomas with a great catch and throws it right over the top of McLaurin. 7-point game, 17-10, 8:53 to go in the first half. Dye around a screen. Gets into the lane, chucks it to the corner. McClooney a 3. Splashes the nylon. Third trifecta of the game for Queens. Their lead is back to a game-high 10. John Jow on top. Bredigan to the blocks goes Bush. He gets stripped. Queens starts a break. No real numbers, but McClooney will pull up in transition. Misses it short. Queens does have numbers back here as he finds Bush. Bush gets to the block, scoops one off the glass and in. Good transition offense by Carson-Newman that time around. E.J. Bush with his first points of the day. 20-12. Queens leading throughout here in the men's title game in the SAC tournament. Dye feeds McClooney. Another good look. And a rope rippler from long range makes it an 11-point game for the first time today. McClooney starting to find a rhythm. He has the last 8 Queens points. And an 11-point lead. Carson-Newman has made 3 straight shots, but turnovers have been the issue. Davis going all the way to the block. And they call a blocking foul on Queens with 7:35 to go in the first half. Otherwise, that would have been the third on Trip Davis. Queens is playing consistently. Carson-Newman trying to find a rhythm and protect the pumpkin. 10 turnovers have led to 9 Queens points off of giveaways. Almost the entirety of the differential right now. 23-12, 7:35 to go in the first half as we take a break here on the SAC Digital Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back inside of Timmons Arena here in Greenville, South Carolina. Carson-Newman looking to win back-to-back tournament championships. Queens, meanwhile, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak in the title game and win its first championship since 2017. Well, these games have been really tight the last several years. The last 5 tournaments have been decided by single digits. 3 of those have been decided by 4 points or fewer. Trip Davis, after 25 points last night, he has lived at the free throw line in the tournament, 21 of 23 in the tournament, and he's made both of his attempts so far here today, and those are his only points after 25 last night. Splashes the first, one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, number 2 in the league at 87%. Sinks the first. Davis's second foul shot goes straight through. And it's a 9-point game. Newman is spreading the wealth early. 5 different Eagles have scored, but nobody with more than Davis and Thomas with 4 apiece. See if Carson-Newman can get some stops defensively. Queens is shooting 36%, but they've hit 4 3-pointers and been to the line to make 3 of 4. Left baseline, Turner pulls up for a jump shot. Rebound for Bush, 1 and done this time around. Davis to the front court, tosses underneath for Thomas. Thomas spins in, falls away, puts one up, coasts off the rim, and it's deflected out of play by John Zhao of Carson-Newman. And it goes back to Queens. Carson-Newman's offensive rebounding has been a big difference maker for this group. 4 of the team's 14 points have come on second chance opportunities. Eagles have scored 10 of their 14 in the paint. The other 4 have come at the free throw line off of Trip Davis's left hand. 9-point Queens lead with the basketball. Dye on the baseline, hopping through the lane. Right-hand shot right down the hatch. 8 for Kenny Dye, and the margin back to a game-high 11. Davis gets trapped. Brennigan, a wide-open look, wide right. Turner the rebound. Dye sprinting front court, an 11-point ball game. A chance to expand upon the largest lead of the day. Good look for McKee from the corner, is short, but another recycle for Queens. That was huge last night for the Royals in the win over Newberry. Raines on the right baseline. Raines spinning in, left-hand shot, rolls around and falls off, and a foul is whistled on the Royals. Team 7, and this one goes on Jaden Turner, and he picks up his first. Team 7th, and that means foul shots coming at the other end for Carson-Newman. John Zhao was underneath there, and 2 different Queens players were barreling into him. And it should be Zhao taking these foul shots. And he was getting checked out of the game as he has to put a stopper into his nose after he got bumped on that last possession. And he comes back out there, and he's going to shoot free throws. Has attempted just 6 all season. Zhao's made 5 of those 6. And the rookie out of Sevier County High School near Gatlinburg in Tennessee. Take a couple here. Carson-Newman's made all 4 of its attempts. And Zhao makes the first to make it a 10-point ball game. Carson-Newman has missed all 4 of its 3-point attempts. Queens has made 4 of 11. Zhao's second foul shot, too strong this time around. First miss in 6 drives for the Eagles. And in a 10-point game, Queens looking to continue to build this out. And really the question right now is, can Carson-Newman find any way to score enough in this ball game? Because Queens has the option. Smith has been on the bench for the last 3 minutes with 2 fouls, the Conference Player of the Year. Dye left wing, sprints to the lane, around a couple defenders. Gives over to the left corner, McKee. Gets to the left block, feeds Turner. Left wing, a 3-pointer is wide left. There's Bryant Thomas for his 5th rebound of the day. Carson-Newman basketball, very few times today have they had back-to-back possessions in which they have scored. In fact, they have not scored more than 2 points in a row against Queens all day. And an offensive foul is whistled on Trip Davis, and that is going to be his 3rd personal foul. So Tripp picks up his 3rd with 5:35 to go. We get another look at it. Dilling's in a great spot, and he's way outside of the lane, and Davis was just floating through and couldn't stop his momentum. So with Queens on top by 10, Carson-Newman's challenge gets even more difficult now, as Tripp Davis has 3 first-half fouls, the 2nd team all-league pick, and the team's leading scorer takes a spot on the bench in a 10-point game. So where does Carson-Newman go for points? What does Chuck Benson do? Smith back onto the floor with 2 fouls, blows past Thomas, and stuffs it in off of the glass. And the clock will stop here as the ball came all the way out to midcourt. Carson-Newman, no field goals in the last 3 minutes. And the Eagles have not scored more than 2 consecutive points, and really, Queens really hasn't had a big run. They had 2 6-0 runs early after the game was tied at 2 to make it a 12-2 run to blow out a 10-point lead, and that's what they've been riding ever since. I think that there might be some blood on the floor, and they'll have to clean that up on the left wing, with Queens on top by a dozen. Royals spreading the wealth. 6 different players have scored so far. McClooney and Dye each with 8. And in a 12-point game, this is the biggest spread of the day. How does Carson-Newman score with the team's leading scorer on the bench with 3 first-half fouls? Nick Brennigan in the left corner pulls the trigger on a jumper. Too strong. Rebound boarded by A.J. McKee. And he comes to the front court, hands it off. Smith, top of the key, trigger on a three, too strong. Does Carson-Newman have a late surge in the first half in him? Eagles are holding Queens well under their efficiency level this season. Bush to the paint, feeds Dyer, cutting to the cup, and a right-hand shot. Smooches the window and falls in. Queens this year, 47% team field goal percentage. And if you were Chuck Benson and said that they'd be at 35% with 4.5 to go in the first, you feel like you're in a great position. Instead, you're down 10. Smith hoists up the jump shot, converts over Thomas. The league's player of the year has 6. And it's back to a 12-point margin. Brannigan will cross the timeline here along this near right side. Dump it underneath Bush. He gets met by Raines. Bush working hard. Looked like he traveled as he slipped. Instead, Raines swats the shot. Queens sprinting front court. Can add to the game-high lead right now. Dilling. Smith out top. Feeds the left corner and Dye, and it goes past his hands and out of bounds. Last time out before halftime. It's a 12-point Queens lead, the 2 seed in control. Do they build this thing out, or does Carson-Newman have an answer before the break? We find out next here on the SAC Digital Network.
At Anderson University, we are on a journey, one that seeks to find the purpose for which God created each and every one of us. So we search, we grow, we dive in, and with a close-knit community, small class sizes, accomplished and supportive faculty, and a spirit that believes that together we can accomplish big things, the person we are striving to become doesn't feel so far away. So we push, we dream, we dig deeper, until our journey finds us as teachers, artists, writers, athletes, engineers, nurses, and friends. And while we're at it, we just might change the world. Anderson University, knowledge for your journey.
Second-seeded Queens used an early 12-2 scoring surge. Scored 14 of the first 18 of the game. And the Royals have a 12-point lead, the largest spread of the day, in a game in which the Royals have never trailed here in the tournament championship game. And a foul is going to be whistled here. Or no, check that. A held ball is going to be whistled here as Nick Brannigan got trapped. Inbound comes to Bowens near midcourt, and he jumps into the air and feeds Nick Brannigan. Bounce pass to the baseline, and Thomas thrusts it home with 2 paws. 10-point game again. Thomas has a team-high 6. The only time Carson-Newman has ever lost in the title game was in 1999. They lost 78-75 in overtime to Catawba, who was the 3 seed. Turner is wide open underneath the bucket. And an easy layup. Big-to-big passing underneath. McKee deflects a pass out of bounds. He's going to track it down himself up 3 rows of the seats. Subs coming here for Queens as well. There's so much rotational work that the Royals do. Such a deep club. Go 11 deep here already in the title game. Trip Davis on the bench with 3 personal fouls for Carson-Newman. Eagles looking for some offense. Jarius Satterfield, who is onto the floor, seldom used this season. Thomas spins it over to Luke Brannigan. 10 on the shot clock. Mismatch underneath. They finally do get it into Thomas. He kicks it out. Satterfield a 3. That is short. And the rebound comes into Dye's hands. Probably not the shot that the Eagles would have wanted. Just the 9th field goal attempt of the season for Satterfield. Fowler running the lane, and a foul is whistled as he goes to the line. This is just the 8th game in which Satterfield has played this season. He scored 2.3 points per game as we take another look at that one. Underneath, look at Fowler sprinting down the lane. Dyer got the right arm of the big man. And the Raleigh, North Carolina native will take a pair of foul shots. And he misses the first one, too strong. The next free throw would expand upon the largest margin of the day. Carson-Newman down by a dozen. Does the 5 seed have a response? Just 2 5 seeds have ever won a tournament title, and it hasn't happened since 1994. Such a challenge to go through because more than likely you're playing 3 of the top 4 teams in the league to get there. Dyer sprinting to the right side of the lane, and he has his shot swatted. Dye goes behind the back. Good ball work. Kicks it out. McClooney's been perfect out there, and he misses for one of the few times in this tournament from that distance. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Ball is tipped to the corner for Thomas. Thomas bangs into Fowler, and they call a foul on Fowler. That is very interesting on that call. Well, they're just 2 big bodies banging into each other. I didn't see a reason for really a foul to be whistled there. And with how physical this game has been, surprised that that one was called. Thomas sinks the first of the 1-and-1 foul shots, and he'll get another shot at it here. Carson-Newman down by a dozen now. Thomas's second foul shot is pure. He's a 73% foul shooter, 11-point game. Well, if you're Queens right now, you feel like you can continue to build this out. They had a great second half last night. Were very consistent in a 30-point win over Newberry. 1:40 to play. Left corner. Lobbed underneath. Raines kicks it cross court. Dye ball fakes. 1 dribble. And too strong on a 3. Nobody goes to get the rebound and a recycle. Dye jumps. Flips it. Raines. Reverse layup. That play developed flawlessly for Dye. He had 2 players on the block, and you see one of the top players in the conference with a great find underneath for Raines. And an interception. Dye, McClooney, spinning around and out. Raines an offensive rebound. He misses the stick back, but more second chances. And a foul is whistled as Dye was putting up a 3-pointer. Bryant Thomas picks up his first. Take another look at this sequence. Queens just racing after the ball. Carson-Newman unable to secure it. And then Thomas trying to affect the shot. Runs into Dye, and a foul on a 3-point shooter. And a chance for Kenny Dye to add to this 12-point lead. This is the first opportunity. 75% foul shooter this year. 58.4 to go in the first half. And Queens inching closer to blowing this thing open. Second shot from Dye is in. Kenny Dye now with 9, can get another double-figure scoring effort. What Dye does so well is run the show, 12th in the country in assists. He takes just 1 of 3 here, though, for a 75% foul shooter that makes 50% of both his field goals and 3-pointers. This one is last touched by Queens.
Hey, right here. Right here.
Well, everybody is over there. There's no fans sitting in that direction. So they do call it last touched off of Queens. 13-point game, 51 seconds to play. Brennigan catches the inbound. It leads to something perhaps as he pulls up at the free throw line and misses another shot. Luke Brennigan is 0 for 2 from the floor. He's got 2 turnovers as well. Came in averaging a dozen a night. Dye feeds the right corner and a 3-pointer that's too strong off of the hands of Matthews, and a foul is whistled on Jaden Turner, and he's picked up his second personal foul. And free throws coming up for Carson-Newman. I believe that puts the Royals. No, it does not. It's just the 9th team foul, so just a 1-and-1. And John Jow back to the free throw line. That's where he scored his only point so far today. 34-21, Queens on top. Carson-Newman has just really struggled from the field. 7 of 26 shooting in this game. Yesterday, the Eagles shot 47%, but here's the real telltale sign. Last night, Carson-Newman had 12 turnovers in the entire game. Today, they have 12 in the first half. And Jow misses another foul shot. He's missed 2 of 3 at the line. And in a 13-point game, Queens with a chance to extend it, about a 2-second differential shot to the game clock. And Hubbard will bleed the clock down here. Clock hits 10. Still waiting. 7 and 6. Now Hubbard will take off. Getting to the right side of the lane. Throwing it to the corner. Dye pulls up with 2 on the shot clock. It rolls around and falls off. Jow grabs the rebound. And that is how the first half comes to an end. Queens clamps down defensively despite shooting 13 percentage points underneath their season average. The Royals clamp down on the Eagles, and Queens has a 13-point lead at the break here in the SAC Tournament Championship game. Royals get 9 points from Kenny Dye, who's dished out 4 assists. Carson-Newman, conversely, has been unable to do it, and now Christian Stryker standing by with Bart Lundy.
Coach Lundy, you have a good first half, nice lead going into the break. What are your thoughts?
Well, Christian, I thought we played exceptionally hard, and we were able to, our presses were able to speed them up a little bit. We were able to keep it away from the block, which is where they're really good. Yeah, and I thought, we thought the key to the game was rebounding. We got a couple fouls there on the offensive glass, but we're going and we're rebounding on the other end. So, that's probably the biggest thing.
Coach, good luck at the rest of the half, and go get them.
Thank you, Christian.
Take care. That's Coach Lundy. Back to you there, Michael.
That's Christian Stryker with Bart Lundy after Carson-Newman shoots just 27%, a great defensive effort from Queens at the break, and we'll step out for one. Highlights, stats, and a conversation with Chuck Benson comes your way when we come back here on the SAC Digital Network in the SAC Men's Championship game with Queens ahead by 13.
Every student comes to Wingate with a story. I know I did. Our students come from all walks of life.
They come to us as young people with hopes and dreams of their own. They're looking to Wingate to become the best version of themselves, and that's what we do.
The effect that Wingate has on me is compounded by the effect I have on the world after I leave Wingate.
Because making a difference is fundamental
to what we are as a university
and who we are as people.
We're back here inside of Timmons Arena where Carson-Newman trails second-seeded Queens 34-21 at halftime of this ball game. And really for Carson-Newman, things have been a grind offensively. Lowest scoring output in the first half this season. Tied for the largest halftime deficit of the year as well. As we take a look at the first half highlights in this basketball game, it's been a grind for the Eagles as their best offense early was second chance opportunities. Their first 4 points of the day came off of second chance opportunities. There was Ren Dyer sticking in that shot. And Trip Davis, who was saddled with foul trouble, 3 personal fouls in the first half, was able to find Bryant Thomas there. Carson-Newman did a good amount of their work underneath the bucket as you take a look here at Thomas stuffing one in. Carson-Newman's offense able to get some buckets in and around the cup. But Queens has had the answer at every turn, despite the fact that they have only scored more than 2 points in a row, or more than 3 points in a row, rather, against Carson-Newman. They had an early 12-2 scoring output as Gavin Raines put that shot in. They've used a lot of different options in this first half. Dye feeding McKee on the run. And an easy layup there as he adjusted past the defender. Top of the key three from Dilling was a little wide. And then the steal. That is something that has just hammered Carson-Newman in this game. They have 12 first half turnovers on the day. And Queens feeling confident after the opening 20 minutes because McClooney caught fire as well. After 18 last night, he had a sequence where he had 8 consecutive points for the Royals. And at the break right now, it's a 13-point Queens lead in the SAC title game. And we're back with more here on the Halftime Report on the SAC Digital Network in a moment.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Dear college sports,
there's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Queens, the number 2 seed, leads Carson-Newman 34-21 here at halftime of this ball game, and we're just about ready to start the second half. But let's check in with Christian Stryker. He's with Chuck Benson right now, but hold on, we got to wait for our camera operator. He's asleep at the wheel down there. So once he gets set into position, we'll be able to get him locked in and ready to roll. There they are, standing over there. So we're ready to go. Christian, you're with Chuck Benson.
Coach, obviously tough first half, a lot of turnovers, uncharacteristic of you guys. What was the talk at halftime there?
You said it. We got to cut down turnovers. That's one thing. And we just got to meet their overall determination. I felt like they were really turned up. I think we were ready to go, and I think they sort of smacked us in the mouth a little bit, caught us off guard maybe. Hate to say it like that, but I think that's what happened. But thought we stabilized. Our defense overall was okay. We just got to make sure on the offense we take better care of the ball and convert some baskets, get second sides, offensively speaking.
Sounds like a good plan. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, man.
Coach Chuck Benson there.
Thanks so much, Christian, as Carson-Newman trying to find answers offensively. 27% overall shooting in that first half of basketball. Queens not necessarily shooting the lights out right now, as they are shooting it at 34% for a team that is, as a group, 47% on the year. That's the second best in the conference. Lincoln Memorial, who shot 52% on the season entering the year, shot it at a 39% clip yesterday against Carson-Newman's defense. But at halftime, Queens is 20 minutes away from a tournament championship for the second time in school history. Can they put this one away, much like they did last night against Newberry after leading by double digits at the break? Find out when we come back. Second half action coming your way here in just a moment. 34-21, Queens on top in the SAC title game here on the SAC Digital Network.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Queens gets the ball to start the second half, and they lead it by 13. They have led wire to wire outside of a time in which we were tied at 2 apiece. Otherwise, it has been utter domination for Queens in this basketball game, more from the perspective of the fact that Carson-Newman really hasn't been able to get any kind of steam rolling. There hasn't been a moment in which it felt like Carson-Newman was about ready to knock off 4 or 5 straight points. In fact, they haven't done that. The most points that they've scored before Queens scored next was 2. And that is a huge issue for Carson-Newman here in half number 2. Because in a game when you're down by 13, you have to have a 6-0 run at some point to try to get back into this ball game. Getting ready to start half number 2 here inside of Timmons Arena. Queens last night led by 16, and they never took the foot off the gas, winning by 30 against Newberry. Queens has lost 3 straight in the title game. Carson-Newman won on Queens' home floor in the championship game. But we're back here on a neutral site, and the Royals looking to avenge that loss. Out of the break, Smith at the high post. 1 dribble, and the jump shot is in. Conference Player of the Year making mid-range jumpers in this game, and it expands the lead up to a game-high 15. It had tied Carson-Newman's largest deficit of the season at halftime. And now the Eagles looking for some of that offensive rhythm. Rennigan on the right wing. Cross-court pass Davis, who had a bunch of foul trouble. Queens is able to build it out after Davis sat the final 9-16 with 3 fouls. Or the final 5:30 with 3 fouls, rather. Queens only expanded the lead by 3 once Davis hit the pine. After another Carson-Newman turnover, 13 in the game. Queens spinning it around the perimeter. Smith gets into the lane, loses the basketball. Bush picks it up. Can Carson-Newman get some easy buckets in transition? Bush misses the little right-handed bunny along the right side of the paint. In the front court, McKee slides by 2 defenders. Great pass underneath. McKee with a wonderful find in the first 4 of the second half. Go to the Royals, 38-21. 17-point differential. Carson-Newman's largest deficit this year is 29 at Queens. Largest deficit overcome was 11 against Erskine on New Year's Day. Thomas, right side of the lane, is able to put an end to that little flourish by the Royals, and it makes it a 15-point game and a turnover. Carson-Newman looks to run. Davis draws the 3rd foul on Smith as he picks up his 3rd, 30 feet from the bucket along the sideline. Take another look at this pass. This is so good by McKee underneath the bucket. Wrapped it around Bryant Thomas, and an easy layup underneath. Great pass there by McKee. 15-point game. Bush, this is where he thrives. In the mid-post range, gets it back, goes up, cannot finish, and Smith is there over his top side to grab the basketball. Well, that's a great look for Bush, and a shot he normally converts. 17:50 to go in the game. And shots like that have to go if Carson-Newman's going to make a comeback. Around the perimeter it goes. McKee dribbling baseline. Stops on the left block, feeds it out to McClooney, and a foul is whistled underneath. It is on Ren Dyer. He picks up his 2nd foul. Carson-Newman down 15. And Queens has made both of its shot attempts here in the second half, but they have turned it over twice on their 4 possessions. Dye slaloming through the lane, putting it in, and 1. The first team all-conference pick with a strong take, and he draws the 2nd rather, on Thomas. Kenny Dye upping his total to 11 now. Look at this move through 2 defenders and taking on the conference's Defensive Player of the Year and one of the top shot blockers in the country. Dye 11 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. That is his typical line this season. He fills up the stat sheet. And the margin has expanded to 18. Well, in the women's final, Carson-Newman women's team had a 16-point lead at halftime. Bush misses this jump shot. And everybody in this facility waited for Anderson to make a run. as Turner goes into the seats, knocks over some, and Queens wanted a foul, and they didn't call one. And they never did make a run. They got within 13 in the second half, and they trailed by as many as 29, and Carson-Newman ended up winning that by 25. Well, we're waiting for Carson-Newman to make a run, and right now Queens is putting the clamps down. They've scored 7 of the first 9 out of the locker room. Rains on the blocks, throws it out. Davis steps in the passing lane, sprints the length of the floor, and finishes with the right hand. Well, that's what Trip Davis can do. He can ignite his offense by getting defensive stops. Just his first made field goal for the team's leading scorer. McKee attacking. Now backpedaling out. Carson-Newman gets stops. They've been very good defensively. McKee to the lane, puts up a right-hand shot, misses it short. Good rebound by Thomas. Carson-Newman sprints into the front court. Davis kicks to the corner. Brennigan, a good look at a three. Splash from distance. 13-point game. And Bart Lundy calls for time. Carson-Newman has found a run. They've scored back-to-back buckets for the first time in the game. And it's a 13-point affair. Bart Lundy not messing with anything. Calls for time. We step out for a break. Royals on top by 13, but the Eagles finding a rhythm here on the SAC Digital Network.
Not everybody's going to pick Catawba, but Catawba can be a place for anybody. You can find a sense of belonging. You can find your people here, and it can be whatever you make it.
If you want to transform into the person you have the potential to be,
if you aspire to inspire the world around you and others,
if you want to discover a sense of belonging and make it what you want, there's a place for you here.
Catawba College is waiting. Are you ready?
Excellence, integrity, care, curiosity. These are the values that define who we are. A community of thinkers, competitors, and achievers passionately pursuing the path of a purpose-driven life. Because at Lenoir-Rhyne University, we are called to greatness. We are LR.
Queens scored 7 of the first 9 points of the second half, but this Luke Brennigan trifecta has given Carson-Newman the game's last 5 points of the day. And with Carson-Newman down 13 after the timeout from Queens, let's see if they can get another stop or if the Royals continue to find a rhythm offensively. They've made 3 of 4 in the second half, but have turned it over 3 times. Dye dribbles left, comes back to his right-hand side. Left to right crossover, feeds McClooney. McClooney around 2 defenders, dumps to the left corner. 5 on the shot clock now. Around to the right-hand side, 2 to shoot, 1. Dye puts it up, bangs off the rim. Smith with the offensive rebound. He forces it right back up and in. That is a big-time play by Jamari Smith, the sophomore from Jonesboro, Georgia. A foul out near midcourt on Queens. Goes on Jaden Turner. That is his 3rd personal foul. Well, right at the end of the shot clock, and that's one of the problems with Carson-Newman's matchup zone. Sometimes you get Trip Davis trying to box out a player that has 5 inches on him. And it brings us to immediate timeout. 15:37 to go in the title game. Queens by 15, looking for its 2nd ever title here in the SAC tournament.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth.
It was Mr. Hines who made me want to become a teacher.
And then I said, that's one small step for man, one giant leap. And that's why we don't try this at home. Any questions?
He inspired me. But it was LMU that helped me turn that dream into a reality.
4 score and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent
Queens has pushed the lead out to as many as 18 in the second half. It sits at 15 right now after they led by 13 at the break. Carson-Newman finding a much better offensive rhythm, 3 of 6 from the floor in the second half. And they made their first three-pointer of the game about a minute ago. Davis in the left corner. Flares it out top. Dyer, a good touch pass. Brennigan hesitates, then pops the top on a three, and he leaves it short. Maybe a little bit of hesitation costing the bucket. Smith along the left side of the lane runs into Dima Bykov, puts a shot up, and a foul be whistled on Bykov. And Carson-Newman fans don't like it because there's 2 officials that are standing around the bucket, but it is the official the furthest away that is the one that blows the whistle. So Bykov called for the foul. And free throws coming up here for Smith. First free throw from Jamari goes in. He's got 11 now. Smith this year averages 17 a game. For the conference's player of the year. Queens tied for the regular season crown, but the Royals, the 2 seed, Lincoln Memorial lost to Carson-Newman yesterday. 5th seed trying to win the 3rd ever title for a 5 seed as Brennigan makes a trifecta from the top of the key. He's hit 2 in the second half after not scoring in the first half. And it's down to a 13-point game again. Big question for Carson-Newman, can he get it to single digits? McKee tosses to the corner. Smith with a good ball fake. Blows by Bykov and draws the foul. Smith can't drop it in, but will head to the free throw line. Well, that's one of the big things that works for Smith. They actually called it on Davis, and that is Trip Davis's 4th personal foul. That is a critical foul on Davis at the 14:49 mark as the first free throw goes in. Let's take another look at that. Davis coming over, and yeah, when you have 3 fouls and 15 minutes to go, you can't reach in like that, and that's exactly what he did. Second one from Smith goes in, and it's a 15-point game. Oh, the climb begins even bigger now for Carson-Newman. 16 of your 31 points are on the bench right now. Thomas is out on the bench. He has a team-high 10. Davis is on the bench with 4 fouls. 46-31. Bowens gets a sprinting start. Falls, misses, and it's poked out of play by Bykov of Carson-Newman. Well, it just feels like if you're the Eagles, you have to have an 8-0 run at some point to at least give yourselves a chance. And here in the tournament championship game, not happening right now. Underneath the bucket, McLaurin misses it, but draws another foul. That's another thing that's happening right now is Queens is getting the ball inside of the lane and they're drawing contact. 46-31. Queens on top and a chance to get this lead back near their game high of 18. Sits at 15 now. First free throw rolls out. Despite making 4 of 6 in the second half, Queens is now 8 of 15 at the charity stripe. McLaurin to get one more. And he puts that one in. So 1 of 2 this time around for McLaurin. It's up to a 16-point game, 47-31 with 4:19 to go. Brennigan dribbles towards the left wing. Now backs down. He's hit 2 3-pointers here in the second half. And an offensive foul is called on Brennigan as Dye hits the deck. And Luke picks up his first. Take a look at this defense by Dye. He's got his hands out wide. And at some point, the contact was going to be too much. And Brennigan flicked his left arm out there, and that aids in the call. 14 minutes to play. Does Carson-Newman have a run in him? And a timeout called by Queens with 13:56 to go. And the Royals are going to be down to their final timeout. And that could potentially be interesting with 13:56 left. Just one timeout to go. Well, here today, Carson-Newman women have won a championship, 83-58 over Anderson. The Lady Eagles shoot 50% in the game. Carson-Newman ties the tournament record for margin of victory in the title game. Braylon Weichel scores 21 points, and Lindsay Taylor named the tournament MVP with 17 points and 9 rebounds. And the Lady Eagles get the automatic bid and await their seeding. We know here that Queens is into the regional. Carson-Newman has to win this one to get in after Belmont Abbey upended UNC Pembroke in the Conference Carolinas title game. 13:56 to go. 47-31. Queens ahead. Inching closer to perhaps their second title and snapping a 3-game skid in the title game. Dye down the lane, kicking it out to McKee. Hopping through the lane. Left-hand shot is too strong. Bykov the rebound, and a foul is whistled on McKee. And a sarcastic round of applause from the Carson-Newman fan base. That was a good box out that time by Bykov. Holding his ground in the Russian native, who's playing in just his 20th game of the season. Here in game number 31 for the Eagles. 47-31, Queens ahead. Bowens gets a running start to the right block, and a foul is called on the floor. I thought for a second maybe we'd get a traveling violation. Instead, Fowler is called for the foul. His third personal foul. So he has 3 and Turner have 3, as well as Smith. Bowens right baseline. Jabs right, dribbles left. Gets back to the bucket, falls away from the left block and puts it home. Bowens with 4. It's back to a 14-point affair with 13-16 to play. Can Carson-Newman get it to single digits? And a foul is going to be whistled on Brennigan. Not just some of that savviness that Dye has. We saw him take the charge at the other end of the floor, and sometimes you just try to get into the body of your defender, and it works out here. And in the bonus the rest of the way is Queens. So they are in the bonus for the next 13:09 of this game. Dye's first foul shot is in. Queens is 6 of 8 in the second half at the stripe. Dye now 3 for 5. He's tied Smith for the game high with 13 points. Second one from Kenny, drops in. Back to a 16-point game, 49-33. Full court press from Queens. Well, there's a reason why Queens has been one of the classes of the nation. They're 9th in the country entering the weekend. Been to a couple Elite Eights in their time. Bowens throws it out. Brennigan, a left corner 3, and Nick Brennigan connects. The Brennigan brothers are 3 for 4 from deep here in the second half, and it's down to a 13-point game again. The Queens has always had the response. Despite not making a field goal in 3 minutes, the Royals have made shots at the line. Dye feeds Fowler underneath. The ball's poked out of his hands. McLaurin kicks it out. Dye. The shot clock did not reset. 10. Fowler gives it out. McKee, a right corner 3. That is short. Bowens grabs the board. Is this the flourish that Carson-Newman has needed? Luke Brennigan, offensive foul. Dye again. Phenomenal work by Kenny Dye. He takes his second charge on Brennigan to the half. That's just really good defense. He gets his body over there, gets to his spot, and Brennigan called for the charge. Well, to win in this conference and to win in the postseason, you have to have a great point guard. And Kenny Dye is that man right now. He's filling it up on the stat sheet for Bart Lundy's crew. 13-point game just when Carson-Newman was gaining momentum. Smith getting a running start to the lane, spinning around, left-hand shot right over the top of the Defensive Player of the Year. 51-36, 12 minutes to go. Queens looking for its second title. Brennigan, Nick this time into the front court. Bounces underneath Bowens. Gets into the lane, right-hand fall-away shot over Smith and throwing it in. 51-38. Well, at some point, if you're the Eagles, you have to get this thing into single digits. You're 7 of 12 in the second half from the floor, 58%, but you haven't put a dent into a 13-point halftime deficit. Turner puts up a tough left-hand shot. It rolls off. Thomas grabs the rebound down. His 8th. Nick Brennigan, front court. Underneath Bowens. Works over Smith. Right-hand shot is in again. Tyler Bowens feeling it. He has 8 points, and the Eagles are within 11. A big surge for Carson-Newman. Dye underneath the bucket. Falls to the ground. It goes out of bounds. No foul called. Carson-Newman has found some momentum. The Eagles on a 7-2 burst. And the Eagles, the reigning tournament champs, finding their rhythm. Queens still leads by double figures. It's 51-40, 11:04 to go. Stick with us. The stretch run coming up here in the SAC title game on the SAC Digital Network.
You've got to see this place.
You gotta see this place. You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You've got to see this place.
You got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
Queens is led wire to wire and by double digits for the majority of the game. But it's Carson-Newman basketball out of the timeout, having scored 7 in the last 9. Second-seeded Queens ahead by 11. The last time it was a single-digit game was at the 8:15 mark of the first half. It was 20-12. Eagles can do that on this trip. Thomas, one dribble, power move, has his shot blocked towards the corner. Carson-Newman wanted a foul, but that looks pretty clean from here. Hubbard. Dye is on the bench right now, getting a rare breather for Queens. Smith is out there, though, the conference player of the year. Carson-Newman playing these minutes with Trip Davis, the team's leading scorer, on the bench with 4 fouls. 10 on the shot clock. Hubbard gets into the lane and draws a foul as he gets all the way to the right block. And a chance to end this little surge here by Carson-Newman as Brennigan commits his 3rd personal foul. That's a really good, strong take by Hubbard, the reserve point guard, getting into the lane, and there's Brennigan with the right hand, getting it down in there. And you didn't have to do that because you had the 10th best shot blocker in the country, Bryant Thomas, ready to erase it. Hubbard, 1 of 2 at the line today, and sinks the first, his 2nd point of the afternoon. Hubbard this year, 5 points per ball game. As he bends the knees, puts the shot in. Back to the halftime deficit for Carson-Newman at 13, 53-40. Luke Brennigan in the backcourt, works across the timeline, gets trapped and finds his brother Nick. Tyler Bowens, who's been a revelation in the second half, draws the foul, and we'll get to the free throw line. This foul goes on Matthews, his first. Tyler Bowens having a fine performance here. He's been in double figures twice on the season. His season high is just 10, and he has a chance to match that here at the free throw line.
Hey, 50%.
You got shooter, Caleb.
Bowens under 50% on the season at the line, misses the first foul shot. Just the 3rd miss in 10 tries for Carson-Newman. So Turner will get a break. Raines is onto the floor. Now Dye re-enters. So Queens, in essence, gives him almost 3 full real-time minutes of rest. And in actuality, it turns into be about maybe 80 seconds worth of time in terms of game action. Bowens misses the second, and Queens has the ball ahead by 13. Royals looking to snap a 3-game skid in the title game. Dilling hands it off to Smith. Dilling again, working along the baseline. Left-hand shot off the window. Josh Dilling, the rookie out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Makes it a 15-point game. The last 4 of the day have gone to Queens. Nick Brennigan, a 3. Falls down, doesn't get it. Bryant Thomas, an offensive rebound. Misses the putback. Loose ball, and a foul whistled on Queens. So Zhao will inbound it on the baseline. Carson-Newman doing a lot of this without Trip Davis as Nick Brennigan airmails a jumper, barely grazing the right side of the rim. Queens has scored the last 4 after Carson-Newman cut it to 11 here in the second half. Under 10 minutes to go, and Bryant Thomas is called for the personal foul as he grabs Jamari Smith. And free throws coming up here for Smith. Should be a double bonus situation. That's the team's 10th. So Smith back to the line, 3 of 4 in the game so far. And he makes the first. Game high 16 for the league's player of the year. One more here for Smith. Short iron, a lot of rim, and it goes in. 17 now, right at his season average for the league's top player. And a 17-point game and a 6-0 Queens run over the last 68 seconds. Brennigan front court, dribbles right, spins around, Bush. Kicks it to the left wing, Nick Brennigan getting along the baseline. Stops, throws it out, Luke Brennigan. Lobs to Bryant Thomas. Nick Brennigan, the Eagles passing off. A couple pretty good looks, and now Bush misses that one. Thomas the rebound, kicks it out. Luke Brennigan misses. And it's spiked off of the body of Dilling. Out of bounds. Carson-Newman has missed now 6 consecutive shots and is in a 2.5-minute scoring drought. (57-40). Queens on top in the title game. Thomas has his shot rejected. Gavin Raines gets the swat, 5th of the day for Queens. Dilling, a catch-and-shoot transition 3 doesn't go. Hubbard gets the offensive rebound and is stripped of it on the left block. Carson-Newman's scoring drought right now at 2 minutes and 47 seconds, and they had it down to 11 at the time. Inbound fired around. Smith is double-teamed, bounces underneath looking for Raines, and it's deflected out of play off of, they say Queens. I have to imagine it's off of Carson-Newman, and it is. Into the game comes McLaurin. Carson-Newman's last bucket at the 11-16 mark. Dye left wing. Lobbed underneath now for McLaurin. Dilling, ball fakes, dribbles left. Smith, he can hit him from out there. Just a tad too strong this time around. Carson-Newman down 17. Nick Brennigan into the lane. Certainly looked like that was a foul. They don't call it. It leads to a break. Hubbard all the way, and a foul is whistled on Luke Brennigan, who has picked up his 4th. And Carson-Newman completely unhappy with that last sequence. Brings us to a break in the action. Things getting chippy here. Chuck Benson in danger of perhaps a technical. Queens has scored the last 6. Frustration mounting for Carson-Newman. 8 minutes to play. Queens inching closer to a title. Can they clinch it? We're going to find out next here on the SAC Digital Network.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
As soon as you win the state championship, you start getting calls and emails and brochures sent to you from all these ring companies. We'd already talked for a long time that the first one we got here at BA, it was going to be the biggest thing we could find. Right? It was going to be the biggest ring we could get. You know, we wanted to make this a celebration for the community, right? For our administration, for our school, right? And then to honor the kids. It's a big deal anytime you win a state championship in any sport.
Queens has scored 6 straight, right when Carson-Newman had put a dent into the deficit to make an 11-point ball game. But here in this one, you take a look at this foul on Luke Brennigan, swiping through Hubbard's hands, and that's what took us to the break. And Hubbard back to the free throw line. Queens has been great in the second half at the line. Hubbard makes another. It is 12 of 14 foul shooting for Queens in the second half. Carson-Newman's attempted 8 more total shots from the field, but free throw shooting is winning the day. It's an 8-0 run as Hubbard makes the second. And the margin is up to 19 at 59-40. Nick Brennigan loses the basketball, is able to grab it, and Trip Davis on the floor with 4 fouls. Where do the Eagles go right now? Needing some offense and needing it quickly. Bowens has been great, 8 points on the day. Inside of the lane, falls away, hits another. He's matched a season high for the 3rd time with 10 points. And that ends that scoring drought for Carson-Newman that lasted 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Dilling wants another 3. Leaves this one short. Thomas is there for his 11th rebound, a double-double for Bryant Thomas, 10 points, 11 boards. Dyer at the other end for 3. Swirls one out. That was close, and that was a big shot for the Eagles. Could have made it a 14-point game. Dye, who's been on cruise control in this one, ignites the offense for Queens. McLaurin catches left block. And an offensive foul will be whistled on McLaurin as Thomas moves his feet to draw the charge. Carson-Newman had started the second half with a great flourish from shooting percentage perspective. Take a look at Thomas's feet movement there. The Eagles came out of the locker room and made 8 of their first 12 shots from the floor, but since that point, they've missed 9 of 10. Carson-Newman is down by 17. Nick Brennigan on the baseline, throws it out to Trip Davis. Bowens, who's been Carson-Newman's best offensive weapon here, gets into the lane, shimmies, falls away, puts one high off the glass. It's too strong, and it's poked out of bounds off of Carson-Newman. 17-point game. Queens has lost 3 straight title games. Carson-Newman beat the Royals in the championship last year at Curry Arena in Charlotte. Smith, who's been steady with 17, loses the basketball, gets it back, sprints down the right side of the paint, has his shot swatted by the conference's Defensive Player of the Year in Thomas. Davis swings it cross-court into the bleachers. Turnovers have been just a massive factor in this one. That is the 16th of the game for Carson-Newman. It's led to 14 points off of those giveaways. Queens is plus 10 in that area. What a difference that would make if Carson-Newman could hold on to the ball. If the Eagles are going to make a push, it's got to be right now as we wind to the 6-minute mark in the championship. Damari Smith throws it underneath. Davis is there for his 3rd steal of the day. Carson-Newman's leading scorer, held to just 6 so far. Gives it over to Nick Brennigan. He draws the foul inside of the lane. So Nick will go to the free throw line. That one goes on McLaurin, his 2nd, as you see Nick Brennigan get into the paint and take on the shot blocker. And he'll go to the free throw line. That's a 67% foul shooter this season. Queens has now failed to score in the last 2 minutes. First foul shot, short Carson-Newman 0 for 3 at the line in the half. They've missed 5 foul shots in the game. 7 of 12 at the stripe. And with the Eagles needing a win here to get into the postseason, not happening right now, and another missed foul shot. 0 of 4 at the free throw line in the game, and a 17-point ball game. Queens on top. They can match their largest lead or exceed it on this trip. They need a 2 to get it to a 19-point game for the second time. Dye dribbles right against Dyer in this zone coverage defense. Smith in the lane, works right past Thomas, misses the shot but draws a foul with 5:25 to go. Bryant Thomas commits his 4th personal foul. Well, Smith just so fast to get to the bucket and gets right into the body of the shot blocker. And Smith, who's made 5 of 6 at the line, will get 2 more. Misses the first. Well, here's your difference in the game. Queens in the second half, 13 of 16 now at the free throw line. Carson-Newman is 0 for 4 in half number 2. Second shot from Smith. Goes straight down the hatch. Queens, a 70% free throw shooting team this year, is now 14 of 17 at the stripe in half number 2. Carson-Newman has now failed to score in the last 3+ minutes. Down 18, 60 to 42. Bowens, who's been Carson-Newman's best weapon in the second half, gets tripped and has a 1-and-1 coming up, but he's just a 49% foul shooter. So Bowens at the line for a 1-and-1. He's missed both of his free throw attempts in this game. 14 of Queens' 26 points in the second half have come at the free throw line. And after they drilled 13 threes last night, they've only hit 4 in this game. Bowens' first free throw does go through. And another shot opportunity here. That ends Carson-Newman's 3-minute and 20-second scoring drought. Makes it a 17-point game. Second one from Tyler, too strong. Pushed out of bounds off of Queens. And Carson-Newman will get another crack at it. 5:14 to go. Carson-Newman had that little push to make it an 11-point game, but then went ice cold from the floor. Davis between the rings. Bowens feeds Thomas. Thomas puts it in and 1. That'll be the 4th on Smith. 5:07 to go in the game. Let's see if Thomas can make the foul shot. This time around, it was Thomas getting into the body of the post player, and Bryant misses the foul shot. So Brian Thomas misses that foul shot. Carson-Newman is now 1 for 7 at the line in the second half. Massive, massive right there. Even if you only hit 3 of those 6 misses, it's a 12-point game. He hit all 6. It's a single-digit contest. Turner, a 3. It's too strong. 15-point game. Davis will try to run into the front court. Nick Brennigan stopping, bouncing it underneath. Thomas in the lane, has it stripped and taken away by Smith with 4 fouls. He got the steal. Dye. McClooney. McKee is left open. Gets it over the hand of Thomas. It is short. Rebound is deflected back in. McKee grabs it. A chance for Queens. Smith on the block. Turns over the left shoulder. Misses this one. Nobody for Carson-Newman can get it. And is that the moment that Queens seals the deal? The offensive rebound put back. 62-45. McKee able to put it in. 17-point game. And is that the one that takes the air out of the sails of the Eagles? Thomas, left baseline, nearly banked it in. Bowens, the offensive rebound, feeds Dyer, who draws a foul with 3:37 to go. Queens is 3.5 minutes away from its second Conference Tournament Championship. And with 3:37 left, it's a 17-point Queens lead. Step out for a break. Final one of the game. Do the Royals get their second title? We find out together next here on the SAC Digital Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Well, big development with 3:37 to go. Jamari Smith, the conference's player of the year, is fouled out. That last foul went on him. So with 18 points and 8 rebounds, a game-high scorer, he's on the bench the rest of the way. Carson-Newman is 1 of 7 at the line in the second half as Dyer makes the first foul shot. Just 5 points now for Ren Dyer, who came in averaging just shy of 10 per game. Carson-Newman in this conference tournament was a 71% foul shooting team, but they are now 10 of 18 in the game as Dyer sinks a pair. It's a 16-point game, or 15-point game, 62-47. Clooney to the middle of the floor, Dye. Dribbles right, kicks out McKee. McKee gets to the lane, puts it over the top of Thomas, missed the shot. Rebound poked around, Dyer nearly had it, and it slides off of his body, out of bounds. Well, been that kind of game for Carson-Newman, unfortunately, for the Eagle fans, as Carson-Newman women's basketball won the title earlier today, and the men have just had a lot of balls that they just haven't been able to secure or rattle out at the offensive end. And credit to the Royals, the regular season co-champions, who've played great basketball defensively here today, suffocating the Eagles despite shooting 35% on the day. McKee into Dye's in the corner. 8 to shoot. Dye gives it back out. McKee, 6 to shoot. Down the right side of the paint, hangs, misses it. Rebound picked up by Thomas. Carson-Newman down 15 with 2:50 to play. Brennigan back out top. Davis catching, shooting, a 3. Have to have it. Doesn't get it. Thomas the offensive rebound, and he will get to the free throw line with 2:44 to go. Carson-Newman has made just 3 trifectas. They made 3 of their first 4 here in the second half. Other than that, haven't really been able to take care of business from long range, and that was a good look for Trip Davis. As you see the foul there against Thomas. He makes the first foul shot. Brian Thomas, very good game. 13 points, 13 rebounds on the day for Thomas. Second foul shot up there, and he puts it home. 6th double-double of the season for Bryant Thomas. Cuts the margin down to 13 points, 62-49, 2:38 to play. Is it too little, too late for the Eagles? Dye looking for the dagger. That falls off. It's spiked. Thomas saves it in, though. Carson-Newman trying to get this down to a 10-point game with a three-pointer here. Dyer will pull up for the 3. That is short. And McClooney the rebound. 2 great looks for Carson-Newman. Davis on the last trip, Dyer here, and neither could convert. 2:09 to go. Dye gets a running start against Dyer. Stops underneath the bucket. Now puts a shot up. I don't know how that's not a foul. With 13 on the shot clock, a nearly banked in 3. Thomas skies for the board. 1:55 to go. 13-point game here in the title game. Carson-Newman has to go a little quicker than this now. And we get a whistle and a foul underneath. That should be 2 foul shots. It is on McKee, who picks up his second. And a technical foul has been called on McKee. So if there was ever a door that would be opened up here, that could potentially be it. And Carson-Newman could get 4 points in one possession. We're going to get another look at it here. Bush on the block. Threw it to Thomas. It was a reach-in foul. And then McKee comes out of our screen. So we don't see exactly what happens with McKee. So Davis will shoot the technical foul shots as he makes the first. It's down to a 12-point game. Trip Davis, who in this tournament now is 26 of 28 at the line. Second shot from Tripp is in. It's an 11-point game. That's the closest Carson-Newman has been in the second half. 62-51 with 1:45 to play. Davis with 8. Yet again, the majority of his scoring coming at the free throw line as he's made just one field goal. So Thomas back to the line. He's made 4 of 5. Well, now think about how much those missed free throws mean for Carson-Newman. Thomas's first foul shot is in. It's a 10-point game with 1:45 to go. Queens has missed 10 of its last 11 shots from the floor. They're shooting 30% in the second half. Thomas makes the second foul shot, and it is a single-digit game at 62-53 with 1:45 to go in the game, and it's a 6-0 Carson-Newman run. First time it's hit single digits since the 8:15 mark of the first half when it was 20-12. Well, let's see what happens here down the stretch. Carson-Newman hasn't made a field goal. This has been a free throw shooting exhibition here in this second half. Carson-Newman trailed by 13 at the break. They are within 9 now, as their last 8 points in the game have come at the free throw line. Queens has been able to put a big lead together. So it'll be Queens basketball here out of the timeout. Bryant Thomas has matched the all-time championship game record for rebounds in a game with 15, and a steal. Bush feeds Brennigan, and Brennigan has his shot swatted. McLaurin comes up with a huge swat, and Queens will try to break the press. That a critical moment. Could have been a 7-point game. And Brennigan put it up, and McLaurin was there with a high hand. McClooney, he hits the deck, loses the ball. It's loose, and Dye, of course, is there to grab it. And then Davis takes it away. He comes to the front court. Dyer rises and draws the foul as he nearly posterized Dilling. And both fan bases pretty unhappy at this juncture. Probably 4 or 5 opportunities to call a foul against Carson-Newman, and it turns out where Dyer nearly had the posterization of the tournament. So Dyer to the line for a pair. And Carson-Newman trying to continue its 6-0 run with 78 seconds to play. First free throw from Dyer rattles out, and that is unfortunately fitting if you're the Eagles. 7th missed foul shot in 16 tries in the second half. One more for Wren. He does stick that one. 7 unanswered for the Eagles. Queens trying to get this one in. And now Dye has it in the backcourt. Gets strapped by the Eagles, and then a foul is whistled with 1:13 to play. And Kenny Dye, who is a 75% foul shooter, who is 4 of 6 in this game, will go to the free throw line. I mentioned the tying record from Bryant Thomas. He ties Dion Truman of Wingate in 2013 for the all-time championship game record for rebounds with 15. Dye sticks the first foul shot. That ends Carson-Newman's 7-0 surge that made it a 8-point game. Is that the closest that the Eagles will get? Thomas will come off the floor, so does Bush. Carson-Newman has all of its 3-point marksmen on the floor now. 63-54. Dye's second foul shot on the way with the right hand, and he sticks it. Kenny Dye now with 16. Carson-Newman looks to run. Brennigan in the front court. Down the left side of the paint. Gets stripped, and it's picked up by Kenny Dye. In a 10-point game with 1:05 to play and a foul on Carson-Newman. Well, the Eagles have had a couple chances here in the last few moments after the technical on McKee. But Chuck Benson's team in the season, that little glimmer of hope shrinking by the moment. 64 seconds to play. Dye back at the line. Free throw up. That comes out. Just the fourth miss in 20 attempts in the second half for Queens. They're 16 of 20 at the line in half number 2. More than half of their points have come at the stripe. And Dye misses the second, so 0 of 2 that trip. 10-point game as we hit a minute in the title game. Top of the key, Dyer over to Davis. Davis sprints down the lane, puts a left-hand shot in. It's back to an 8-point game. 64-56, 55.7 to go. Queens inbounds to McKee. Gives forward to Dye. Dye will get a running start. 3-on-1 break, and it goes over to McClooney as they waste time, and a foul is finally whistled, and it sends McClooney to the line, who today has made both of his attempts and is a 76% foul shooter. And that is the 5th personal foul on Luke Brennigan, and he is fouled out. Well, even though Queens has taken 30 foul shots in the game, the all-time championship game record, Presbyterian went 38 of 62 in 1996. It's the most makes and attempts all-time in a title game. So Jarius Satterfield comes in to replace Luke Brennigan with 47.5 seconds to play of an 8-point affair. McClooney at the line for 2. And the first free throw is in. Queens hit the bonus with 13:09 to go. And boy, have they taken advantage. Overall in the game, they've attempted just 5 more foul shots than Carson-Newman. But in the second half, they've attempted 22 total. And that second shot goes in. Carson-Newman basketball with 3/4 of a minute to go, down 10. Dyer leans in, top of the key for a 3, leaves it short. Rebound picked up underneath by Turner. 36 seconds to play. Carson-Newman traps, McKee picks it up and draws the foul, and John Jow will be called for it, his second. Well, Carson-Newman tried to get back into this ball game, but Queens, after an 8-2 start to the day, has led by double figures a good chunk of the afternoon, leading wire to wire. And 32 seconds away from the second title in program history. McKee misses the first foul shot. Queens, after a 3-point shooting exhibition last night with 13 of them, has made just 4 today. But it's the free throw shooting right now in the game that has proved to be the difference. Caleb Bridgewater is into the game. Trip Davis shaking his teammates' hands as his career comes to an end, and what a terrific career for the Nashville native. He greets Chuck Benson, and this is the part about March that you come to hate. Some of the best players around the land play their final games. And the second missed foul shot, McKee misses both. 27 seconds left. Dyer atop of the key 3, splashes it. It's a 7-point game with 24.4 to go. Can Carson-Newman get a turnover here? Middle of the floor, it's Dye. There's Turner firing it for it. They got a layup, but they commit the foul before Fowler was catching it, and he would have put the punctuation mark on it. 20 seconds to go. Carson-Newman has 2 timeouts left of a 7-point game. Well, you like the fight for Carson-Newman down the stretch. The Queens just too much as Dyer hitting this trifecta from the top of the key. The Eagles trail by 15 with 3:10 to play. Since that point, they're on a 12-4 run. And Queens not really slamming the door shut here at the line. Second shot is in this time from McKee, and a timeout from Bart Lundy. It's his final timeout. It'll be a full timeout with 20 seconds to play and an 8-point lead in hand at 67-59 with 20 seconds left. Well, Queens in the second half has gone 7 of 23 from the floor. Overall, 33% in the game. And if you looked at these numbers outside of the foul shooting, I think Chuck Benson would be very delighted to see that and feel like his team has a chance to win a title. But then you flash over to Carson-Newman's numbers, and it's not much better. 19 of 57 from the field, just 4 made three-pointers, and they've missed 9 foul shots. And in NCAA tournament action, which Queens will get to, and what Carson-Newman had hoped to get to, but would need a win here to be able to seal that. Free throws are critical, and Queens has missed 13 now in the game. Carson-Newman has missed 9. So really, if you're the Royals, if you make some foul shots, this game would be long over by now. But the door is still just ever so slightly ajar. I mean, perhaps it's closed but unlocked. You just have to find a way to maybe crease it open. 67-59, 20 seconds even left on the clock. Bridgewater to inbound the ball, gives it to a running Dyer, sprints across midcourt, throws it over to Bridgewater, steps into a 3, and it's an air ball. Jow the offensive rebound. He gets his shot blocked. 10 seconds to play. Fowler with a chance for the punctuation mark. Queens puts it away as Fowler two-hand stuffs it. And that is how this one will come to a close. Satterfield's 3 will not count, and the Queens Royals snap a 3-game losing streak in the finals, and they win their second ever South Atlantic Conference tournament title. The final score, the Royals 67-69, and Carson-Newman 59. So the Royals celebrate out in front of their bench. And a year after Carson-Newman won on Queens' home floor for its 4th conference tournament championship, it is the Royals, after 3 straight losses in the title game, winning a championship for the first time since 2017. And Carson-Newman loses in a title game for the first time since 1999. Celebration is on here, and the Royals have won the championship. Stick with us. We'll have the trophy presentation, the net cutting ceremony, and the all-tournament team selections as well here for you when we come up here in just a moment. But gives me an opportunity to thank everybody involved in our production here today. Our camera operators were amazing all weekend. Katie Denton, Gary LaPrairie, Mary Vandergriff, and Micah Edwards did phenomenal work for us all weekend long. Our director was Danny Wazorik. Richard Martin was our do-it-all. He did the replay, he did audio, he did directing, he did the camera placement, he did everything. Richard Martin, a wonderful job by him. And my partner all weekend long was Adam Cavalier. And thank you to the South Atlantic Conference for allowing us to do this show. As Queens wins the championship, I'm Michael Watrang signing off. Stick with us. We'll have all the presentation coming up for you here courtside from the Timmons Arena. The final score once again, it is Queens 69 and Carson-Newman 59. The Royals with their second ever tournament championship. Congratulations to the Royals for winning the men's title after the women. For Carson-Newman won 83-58 over Anderson. Congrats to both Carson-Newman on the women's side and Queens on the men's side. And thank you to tuning in this entire weekend here in the South Atlantic Conference tournament. Hope you enjoyed it. Our crew did great work. I'm Michael Watrang signing off as we'll bring you the trophy ceremony now here on the SAC Digital Network.
First, for the all-tournament team, name is called, please come forward. From Lincoln Memorial University, Jordan Guest. And from Newberry College, Marcus Ford. And from our runner-up, Carson-Newman University, number 50, Trent Davis. Also from Carson-Newman University, number 24, Bryant Thomas. And now our representatives from our Queens University, number 10, Juan McClooney. Next up, Queens, number 55, Jamari Smith. And also from Queens, number 15, Kenny to the NCAA Division II Basketball Championship. On behalf of Furman University, South Atlantic Conference Commissioner Patrick Britz, and all of the participants in this weekend's festivities, thank you for attending the 2022 South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championship. We hope you had an enjoyable experience. Please drive home safely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good performance.
You shot terrible, but it was good.
Well, if you make 1.4 free throws, whatever it was.
Is that what it was?
I forget. I don't have the stats here. There's a lot.
You got a lot of ways to beat people.
Yeah. It just feels like if somebody's having an off night, there's 3 other guys that can pick you up.
Ebony.
You hurt me. Thank you.
I'm just waiting. Eventually, this team will need to be run, but we got to work it that way. We're kind of done.
Come here. We're taking pictures. Here we are. Come here.